Hello and welcome back to another edition of Applied History. We're here again today with Nate Sylvia. We're back on 20 Orange Street and we're going to start getting into the different strategies Nate uses to remove paint depending on the situation. And so I understand today we're learning about paint remover.
Yes.
All right, take it away.
Okay. We use this is one variety, there's many of them. A few years back they took off the market methylene chloride, which was the really strong stripper. So any of the strippers now are pretty environmental, but the downside is you might need to do a few applications to get many layers off. No, it claims multiple layers. This one claims, I think, 10 layers at once. They lied. You probably just need a couple applications of it to get the desired product.
Cool, and less is more. It's better to do it a couple of different lifts.
It's good to put it on as heavy as possible. They even recommend not working it in.
Okay.
Literally putting it on with one direction of brush stroke.
So what's the ideal application for a paint stripper like this?
So paint stripper is really good for kind of detailed areas. The flat surfaces are easy, so you really want to work any of the profiles and things like that, where it's tough to get a knife in there and clean it out.
So this is actually going to peel the paint right off, where it would be hard to get a sharp, pointy object into it without scarring it.
Yeah. But also, once this goes on, we put plastic on it to keep it moist.
Yep.
Which actually gets the wood moist too.
Okay.
So you can scar it very easily.
Oh, okay. So it becomes very...
You really have to be gentle with it.
Fragile. Okay.
Let the stripper do the work. And just let it go.
Let the stripper do the work. You heard it from Nate Sylvia, folks. All right, Nate, tell us about how you put this together. Is there a mixture or does it just come in the can?
No, it just comes as one piece, one product.
Okay.
We put it on very heavy.
Okay.
And try to really get it playing. A lot of them claim to stick to horizontal surfaces better than others.
Okay.
And we just really try to get it on there heavy. And then we'll wrap it in plastic.
Yeah, that's a pretty thick coat.
Yeah, and we'll try to keep it wet. It only works when it's wet.
Okay.
So let's see what we get. It claims 15 minutes, but the longer you can keep it on there moist, the more it's going to work.
Is there a problem with ever leaving it on too long?
It can lift the grain and it will stop working, and then you just have to repeat the process.
Okay.
But yeah, trying not to lift the grain is...
Yeah. But this is certainly something that your typical homeowner could do, and
easily.
It's going to help you to preserve that nice dental molding.
Yeah, you can see it starting to react already.
Awesome.
Make sure to wear gloves, a mask, goggles.
Yeah, I can smell it.
And,
stings the nostrils.
If you're working with lead paint, you really want to be careful with it.
Okay. Which we've covered already in the series.
And we're just going to put the plastic on.
Okay.
And let it run its course.
Awesome. Cool, so we'll let this cook and we'll come back to it in about 15-20 minutes. Stay tuned. All right, guys, so as you might be able to see, the paint stripper has started to do its thing, and Nate's gonna step back in and show us how he will now remove the paint now that it's been sitting for about 25 minutes.
So we kept it moist by putting plastic over it, and you can really see it really loves latex paint. It's the oil and the lead it has problems with.
Okay.
Almost all paints now are latex based.
Yep.
So it's really working pretty well. We have a couple different profiles, some flats, some curves. Just very gingerly.
Oh my gosh,
look at that.
That's wild.
We got lucky on this one. It doesn't always.
He's humble too, folks. That is just
very painless though.
Peeling right off. And I see that just the slightest bit of pressure.
Right.
And you're starting to scar the wood a little bit.
You let the chemical do the work.
Now, is that varnish underneath the wood?
I believe it is. Look at that.
Wow.
Normally it wouldn't come off like this, so it must be varnish under there, and then someone...
You must have scared it.
A poor primer, actually, when they put over the varnish. But yeah, that was just...
He says that all the time. When you're good, Nate.
You're good. And it only works when it's wet, so you have to be fast about it.
Okay.
Do small sections at a time.
I mean, that looks like a latex balloon.
It really does, huh?
That's wild. So I can see what you mean. The grain is soft.
Yes.
And it's very susceptible to scrapings. You're not putting much pressure on it at
No,
all.
not at all. And before you sand this, you really want to let the chemical dry. And a lot of them need a neutralizer, which just could be like water
Yeah.
or something with a little basic solution to
Okay.
it. And just read the back of your label to see which product you bought. You can really see, once you get all this off, how much detail. Just layers
That's
and layers of
amazing.
paint.
Wow. I'm gonna fight for a wood door now. I think it looks great.
And lastly, a little metal.
It's a copper brush
Yeah, copper brush. They sell copper. They have nylon, and I think aluminum.
for just that, those little pieces that are
Just
stuck
those
in there.
little pieces, or you can get some steel wool.
You can see even that is starting to
Yeah,
take the wood.
Take the wood with it.
Yep.
You really gotta be careful.
You want a piece of steel wool?
Nah, it's okay. It's usually for bigger, flatter surfaces. You just keep working at it.
Yep. So is this darker color of varnish?
I believe it is. Yeah.
Okay. So how will you get that? Will you get the varnish off?
You can try. You could do another application. You can see it starting to bubble already.
Yeah, you really can.
If we take a flat tool to it, you'll probably get a bunch off.
Wow. So that varnish was in there pretty good.
It's 100 and something years old. It's the old oil base.
That's wild. Now it's a whole different color.
Yeah, you really get a lot off. Obviously, dispose of this properly. It could have lead in it.
And there you go. It's the last stroke. Beautiful. It looks amazing. I noticed there's still a little bit of varnish left on there.
A little bit, and you could actually take that steel wool at that point if you really wanted.
Okay. Yeah, show us the steel wool.
Steel wool into the stripper,
Okay.
chemical remover, and just with that to get the last remnants of it off.
Okay.
Obviously, it's tough to get into that detail.
Yep.
Once it's all dry completely, you can take the sandpaper and work in the sandpaper also. Or
Okay. But we
dry
want to make
steel
sure not to sand while it's still wet because that would be
right.
terrible for the
Yeah,
wood.
it just takes the grain right with it.
Okay.
But this is getting a lot off.
It is.
And at some point, you have to stop.
Yeah.
You can. It's if you're doing one door, it's one thing. If you're doing 10 doors,
Yep.
what's your level?
You want to get it to a point where it's going to accept the new paint.
And different primers will accept to different areas. If they would have used the bonding primer over this varnish,
Yep.
it probably would have stuck a lot better.
Okay.
It looks like they used a latex primer,
Okay.
which is why it's coming off so nicely.
Okay.
So thank you.
So you
Dust
weren't just
Painters.
being modest.
No, someone improperly primed and painted this,
Okay.
so that helps it come off.
Okay. Cool.
But we're paint free and we're almost varnish free.
So we got lucky that we only needed one lift of
Yeah, thankfully.
of the primer. I'm sorry, of the paint remover. Now you would use the steel wool brush like you're doing. Once the wool brush and all of the paint remover is dry, you go back with a hand sandpaper and finish.
Fine grit at that
Yeah.
point, probably 150, 180.
Yep.
Maybe work your way up to
Yep.
220.
So it's wet right now, we can't finish it, but we have shown the paint remover technique, and that'll do it for this episode. Tune in next time where we're gonna get infrared with it. This thing looks like a Ghostbusters device. I don't know what's happening, but it's gonna be exciting. Tune in next time. We'll see you on the next episode of Applied History.